To some other news, I want to get to the Rolling Stone story if we could. Rolling Stone is now dealing with blowback from all sides as the magazine changes its story following its sweeping expose of an alleged gang rape at the University of Virginia fraternity house there. The original article drew global attention to allegations that stunned the campus, but on Friday, the magazine issued a note to readers casting doubt on its own story and acknowledging it never reached out to the men accused of the crime out of deference to the victim. Rolling Stone said in part, quote, "We should not have made this agreement with Jackie, and we should have worked harder to convince her that the truth would have been better served by getting the other side of the story." The note also said our trust in her was misplaced. But that line also sparked a backlash, with some critics saying it sounded like the woman was being blamed. Later, Rolling Stone altered its apology, removing the line about misplaced trust and writing, quote, "These mistakes are on Rolling Stone, not on Jackie. We apologize to anyone who was affected by the story, and we will continue to investigate the events of that evening." The magazine also acknowledged discrepancies in the woman's story, first reported by the Washington Post. According to the Post, a student who came to Jackie's aid that night now says she did not appear physically injured, as told by Rolling Stone. An alleged attacker that Jackie identified to friends was actually the name of a student who belongs to a different fraternity. Joining us now from Washington, education reporter for the Washington Post, Taylor Reese Shapiro, whose piece helped cast doubt on Rolling Stone's report.
Taylor, talk about your own reporting and how it got you to where you ended up.
I first met students who knew Jackie last week, and through building relationships with them and reporting this story, I later came to meet Jackie herself. Jackie told me a story that was substantially similar to the one recounted in Rolling Stone. As we continued our reporting, however, we noticed that there were significant gaps that we still needed to address in order to feel comfortable to print a story of our own. And as we continued to move through our reporting, we found some inconsistencies ourselves.
What was the first one that really rang the alarm bell for you that this story might not be accurate?
Well, you know, it's still clear that perhaps Jackie went through some kind of trauma. It's just that certain details that were reported, you know, so far appear to be inconsistent, such as the date of September 28, 2012. The fraternity has said there was no party that night, and in addition, that there was no member of the fraternity who was employed by the AFC, which is their aquatic and fitness center.
Mm-hmm. You said it's clear she went through some kind of trauma. What indication do you have of that?
That's what her friends believe. You know, and her story seemed very compelling when she told it to me, and they believe, her friends, that, you know, perhaps she did suffer some sort of sexual assault. It's just not clear if it's exactly as what was recounted in Rolling Stone.
And did you, in talking to the friends, also find out that the friends felt like their words had been twisted by the Rolling Stone article?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I was just wondering, what the friends, did they feel, I had read a quote this weekend that one of the friends sounded upset at the way the story was framed by Rolling Stone, one that had cooperated with Rolling Stone in this story.
I think the friends, you know, obviously felt that they feel that the story that they have read is not the same as the one that they've heard a lot of times, and obviously that is disconcerting to people. They feel, you know, in one way perhaps their trust was betrayed. At the same time, you know, they care deeply about Jackie and they just want what's best for her as well, and they want to find out what really happened too.
Taylor, it's John Heilman here. When's the last time you talked to Jackie?
I last talked to Jackie on last Thursday.
So before the apology.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a sense from her what kinds of demands she made on the reporter? And we've heard some accounts of this.
The deal cut.
In terms of what she wanted the reporter, what she didn't want the reporter to do in terms of following up with the accused.
When I first spoke to Jackie, she told me that she initially had never planned, you know, for her story to be broadcast worldwide. And as she began speaking more with the reporter, she later decided that she wanted to be taken out of the article. As the story continued to, you know, she agreed later, obviously, to participate in full with the story, and she later said that she felt that it was accurate. And she told me that the story was accurate.
All right, Taylor Reese Shapiro, thank you. We'll be following this as it unfolds.
Can I ask you, John, you had said off camera before that some people that had read even the lead of the Rolling Stone article that you talked to that were in the profession immediately expressed doubt?
Well, there's a guy named Richard Bradley, who was the editor of George magazine, who posted a blog post shortly after the story came out. The story begins with a very detailed account of what this source says happened to her, a single source account of that, which is very, very vivid and very graphic, and involves a gang rape that lasted for 3 hours, had multiple parties involved.
Thrown on a glass table.
Thrown on a glass table, it's
shattered.
broken. And Richard Bradley, this former George editor, wrote a long blog post that in some ways kicked off, in addition to the Washington Post, kicked off in media circles a lot of questions about the story, where he basically said he had published Stephen Glass when he was at George magazine. He said, now I bring to all these stories that conform to my prejudices. I bring heightened scrutiny. And in this case,
good for him.
Southern fraternity guys behaving this way, saying things like, grab its leg, referring to this woman as it. It just, to him, seemed that it was not, he didn't know that it was fabricated, but he was shining kind of a harsh light on it. I think there are a fair number of people in the profession that I know who read that account and thought, boy, this might be true. Anything could be true, but there's a lot of red flags in some of the details in that story.
Sure,
when you read it, you thought this could be true, but boy, this is a really
it sure conforms to pre-existing prejudices of the editors who would.
Again, again, I'll say what I said before. There is a problem with campus rape, and there has been a problem with campus rape at the University of Virginia. So it's not. I mean, it's not that there's not a real problem.
Nobody's saying
the story exploded
you don't
because
have to,
of the problem.
Well, I'm just saying that because I think it's not a prejudice if you look at an institution where there have been problems in the past and think that there could be problems again.
I'm just repeating back what you said.
Yes. No, and I'm just.
So I don't know why when I say what you say, you feel like you have to.
What you said was that it conformed to the prejudices of the Rolling Stone editors. I don't know.
No.
I don't know what the prejudices of the Rolling Stone editors are.
I was talking about you're the guy you were talking about at George magazine.
I'm saying that
again, repeating back exactly what you said.
I'm agreeing with that.
But somehow when a guy from the South says exactly what a guy from Brooklyn says, you feel like you have to go on 30 minutes explaining that yes, there is rape on college campuses.
What I took
across
exception
America.
to was the last thing you said, which was that it conformed to the prejudices of the Rolling Stone editors.
But I didn't say that. You could actually look and see.
Well, then maybe I misheard you, but that's what I was reacting to. I'm just saying, when Richard Bradley wrote this thing, I think there were a lot of people in the profession who were like, there's a lot of the detail here that seems
it's a little too.
I don't want to say too good to be true because that's kind of an incendiary phrase. But from a standpoint of it, there are a lot of things, a lot of details in that account that you think, boy, I would really want to triple, quadruple, quintuple check that before I published it.
Yeah.